You may not know this, but for estate agents, on July 11th, Thursday, we are actually going live to show you several things you can change about your valuation tool that may help you bring more listings, which will be especially welcome in a time like this. And we'll be going live to show you all the changes you can make. And in this little video, I'm going to give you a prelude to the couple of the changes you could make starting today that I'll be talking about in depth when we go live. And now it's going to be Thursday 11th, so this coming Thursday at 11 a.m. If you're there, I'll see you there. For those of you who can't make it, there will be a recording, but it will be a paid-for recording. So just so you know, you can ask some of the agents who will be there, or you can be there and we can answer your questions directly. But the two main things I want to talk about in this little video as a prelude are not going to be the things you expect, because they will be the thank you page and the overall aspect or the overall work in your estate agency's presentation. Let's start with the thank you page first, and we'll get to the more complex presentation later. Now, when they go through the valuation tool and they see the ending page, most people, when they get to the page when in the instant valuation tool where they get the results for the instant valuation, they will see all the data about their property. But the one thing that will be missing is a set expectation about what they will get next from the estate agent. This is the most important part of your valuation tool, one of the most important parts, because directly after this is when you will be reaching out to the seller and opening up first contact, as it were. You'll be reaching out to them for the first time and calling them if they've given you the correct phone number, or sending them an email. And it's crucial here to set an expectation with them of what will happen, who will be contacting them, what email address or phone number they will be contacted from, and why you'll be calling them. Because if you can let them know in advance, one, you will build a lot of trust, because you will let them know something that will happen, and that will build trust, because what you say, it's just a simple example of what you say becoming true, which in many industries and many markets, when someone uses an advertising method or a tool like the valuation tool, or similar to the valuation tool, there's often a case where they promise one thing. For example, they promise the free tool and nothing else, and then they reach out asking whether the lead, as it were, would be interested in a free call for X reason, Y reason, Z reason. But what happens is that loses trust with the person, because you offered one thing and they're immediately met with something that's not what they expected. So that loses trust. But that means there's a gap. There is more demand for people who offer things and then give them exactly as people expect. It builds a lot of trust. And the second thing is, you can give them a reason on the thank you page or on the valuation tool detail page to actually answer the call. You can give them a reminder or review of what they will get of actually having a conversation with you. Because having a conversation with an estate agent, if you're applying to move your home today, if you're applying to get your home on the market in the next week, or even in the next 6 months, you have the advice they need to be able to do that and avoid several of the pitfalls that may befall them. You know, people who are motivated to sell their property, they need to know the pitfalls they could fall into that may just prevent them from moving in time. People who are looking for the best price for their property, they need to know when is it best to move or sell their home, and what will they need to get ready in advance so that the home can sell for the price that they can achieve. Because market value isn't so easy to achieve. I know not everyone realizes that, but it's your job to let people know it doesn't always happen. Prove that with data as best you can. Give them the data to prove that, and then show them what steps they need to go through to solve that. Now, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, but the main point is let them know what will happen next. If you're going to contact them and ask them, hi, what was the reason for you requesting this instant valuation? Are you looking to move home and sell your home, or are you just curious, perhaps looking for a mortgage, an instant valuation for mortgage related things? Let them know in advance why you're going to call, who's going to call them, and what number they'll be calling from, and that way they will expect it and not see your phone call as, a spam call. There's no other way to put it. And then the second thing, well, remember this framework. This framework is really helpful whenever you're giving your leads instructions on what to do next, whether you've written it into a page like an ad or a thank you page or a form, anything where you give them information and they've got next step to take, and not everyone will. Remember these 3 questions. You need to answer these 3 questions in their mind to help them move forward and to understand why they need to get in contact with you or move to the next step. The first is, why am I here? They need to know why they are here on this page or looking at this ad. Am I in the right place? They need to know if you're the estate agency in their area who can help them. They need to see proof of that. And what next? What's going to happen next if I click on this valuation tool ad? What's going to happen next if I give you my contact details? As soon as someone gives you their contact details, they are losing leverage. What I mean by losing leverage is before they give you their contact details, they have the upper hand. They know that they're essentially in control and that they have something that you want. As soon as that happens, the same as with a sale, they want to know what's going to happen if they give you their contact details. Will they get spammed? Will that email and phone number get shared with other companies? Things like this happen in different industries for different free offers. And so letting them know what will happen next and then fulfilling on that expectation will really help you. And then the second thing, what do you need to work on in your estate agency itself that will help you get better results from your valuation tool? Now, this is more of a broad topic, and there's a lot to talk about. One is, are you building trust with local sellers and local homeowners, or are you putting up a sales front? There's a term we use for this, and it's called pipeline equity. It's simply a way of referring to, if you make 3 sales posts in a week, let's say, and 1 post where you give, homeowners or sellers information without asking anything in return, we'd say you have a low pipeline equity. Pipeline equity is when you give value to sellers without asking for anything in return in a post, and whenever you post a video or a post like that, trust in you and your agency will go up. I'm sure we've all seen that one person or that one business who is going to make a sales post. They've been consistently doing it, and you just scroll on by because they know that they're going to sell you something. Well, pipeline equity is doing the opposite, where you provide value so often and make sales so few and far between that, one, people are more likely to read your post as like the 2nd, 3rd, 4th post as they go along, because you are providing value to them and helping them without asking for anything in return, building trust. And second, every time you make an offer to help someone sell their home or to book a market appraisal, it will be much more powerful because people will, 1, read it, and 2, actually consider it and consider the trust they have in you over, let's say, another estate agency who happen to be selling to them over and over. How often are you actually showing up in their newsfeed, in their Google searches? We often talk about estate agency and advertising for estate agency in 2 ways. There are the people who go the Google route only, where if people need an estate agency, they're going to find me first and they can call on me first and I'll make my best first impression there. And then there are those who see Facebook advertising as, interruption based, where you're interrupting someone's day and you're interrupting someone scrolling through, cat videos or videos about whatever they happen to be interested in. and you talk to them about property or offer them a seller's guide or evaluation tool. The way I see ads is you're building a relationship on the internet, where a relationship of trust with sellers and homeowners. Homeowners will eventually become sellers because they need to move and they'll have a house to sell. What happens when someone reaches out to you from Google without knowing you is that you have to build trust from scratch, and you will have to put a lot of free people through your page on Google. You have to pay for a lot of people to visit your page before you start getting listings, because there'll only be a certain amount of people who trust you, and others will already have trust with estate agents they've worked with already, who they worked quite well with, estate agents who they've been seeing already on social media, that interruption-based advertising or even just regular social media posts, or recommendations from friends and family. There will already be estate agents who they have in mind. So not every person who's looking on Google will pick your estate agency, because they're not going to be searching only for the top estate agent. More than likely, they'll be searching for the estate agent they know the best and they trust the best. We're moving into an industry where trust in an estate agency is much more important than, for example, how high you are in the Google ratings. And I'm not saying that being high in the Google searches won't help you. In fact, it will help you massively because people are searching for you. But what would happen if you had built an element of trust with local sellers as well as showing up often on Google searches? You would have twice as much of an advantage. In fact, I'd say it would have a multiplicative effect on your estate agency, which is why we do things like educational video ads, motivational stories of others selling their home with your help, sometimes entertainment things like behind the scenes, day in the life of an estate agent, and more. And yes, occasionally we do talk about the occasional sales post, and we keep it occasional because that's when they are the most effective. So really, there are things you can do to compound the effects of advertising instead of relying on it as a put £500 in, hope to make a 3,000 listing back, and hope to sell maybe 2 and 3 of those listings. But however you choose to approach it is up to you. And when it relates to valuation tools, being able to build trust with your local sellers is a benefit before they go to your valuation tool, because they will trust the person who's on the other end of the phone, who they are giving their contact details to. And if you're interested in a way you can do that through 5 simple video ads you could create today, let me know. Drop a line in the comments below and I will send the details to you.